All right, it may be raining, but it's spring weather, and I'll take that over the snow. Damn it. But wait, what is spring weather? What is spring, or really any of the other seasons? Are they defined by temperature or weather or date ranges on a calendar, or are the seasons just places we go? For a while now, I have liked thinking of the seasons as places that we visit rather than just date ranges on a calendar, and admittedly, I know it's not completely right to think of them that way, but I just like it. Hear me out. In my little world, currently it is spring. Then it will be summer, and then we will move through fall, and then winter, and then come back to spring when we are physically in the same part of the solar system that we started in. And so boom, that's where the idea comes from, that the seasons are different places in the solar system. But what is it that puts spring over here? What puts summer heat over here and winter cold over here? Is the solar system just naturally warmer over here and colder over there? Nope. Space is murderously cold, like almost as cold as possible, pretty much everywhere equally all the time. So guess what? That's not the answer. But maybe you heard that as the Earth goes around, I kind of wish that I had written more of that, but I kind of wish that I had written even less of that. Maybe you've heard that as we complete our cutesy little laps around the sun, there are parts where we get closer to the sun and other parts where we are farther away because we don't orbit in a completely perfect circle, and that starts to feel like it could be the explanation for the seasons, but it's not. Perihelion is the part of our orbit where we are closest to the sun, and that happens in early January, which to me is early winter. Aphelion is the part where we are farthest away from the sun, and that happens in early July, which would be early summer. So it's actually kind of reversed in a way. So that's not it. And the real answer, the real reason for the seasons is more interesting to me, and it's why this and many other globes are designed the way they are. It is super windy today, but I've already committed to the idea of recording outside, so we're just gonna roll with it. Have you ever wondered why they can't quite seem to get these things just right? I mean, look at it. They never seem to rotate flat. They're always kind of tilted one way, with the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere facing in opposite directions. And it turns out that that's actually on purpose, and by a specific amount, 23.5 degrees, if we want to put a number to it. The reason for this is that as we, citizens of the Earth, go twirling around the big glowy thing in the sky, it turns out that we rotate exactly like that, on a bit of a tilt. And what I find most interesting about it is that even though we're twirling around, the direction of that lean is pretty much constant the whole time. And so what that results in is we can be over here with the northern part kind of leaning away from the sun, and then 6 months later come over here and the northern part is leaning towards this part of the sun. Now I live about here, so when we come over to this area, the part of the world I live in is leaning away, and that seems to put the sun lower in the sky. 6 months later, you come over here, and daytime is facing this way now, but we're leaning towards the sun, leaning into it, and that seems to put the sun higher in the sky. It seems to rise earlier and set later, so you get more direct sunlight, and that is the reason that we have winter on one end of the season spectrum, summer on the other end of the season spectrum, and spring and fall are kind of the in-between seasons, and fall is my personal favorite. It's really just the undisputed champion of the seasons, in my opinion. I wish that it was fall right now. Wait, it is. Remember how when the north parts of the Earth are leaning towards the sun, the south parts are actually leaning away from the sun. That means that when it's summer in the true north, strong and free, it's actually winter down here in the land down under. And so spring in the northern hemisphere is actually fall in the southern hemisphere, meaning that if I were to travel to Australia or anywhere else in the southern hemisphere, I would be able to go to where fall is happening right now, meaning that it's a place on the surface of the Earth that I could travel to. That place seems to happen when the Earth is in a specific part of the solar system. And so in reality, even though it's technically more about angles than it is about places, I think I rest my case. The seasons are just places that we go. That's all that I had for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.